All right, we're recording. So tonight's presenter is Hank Gerritsen, Whiskey 6 Sierra X-Ray, who's going to talk to us about how to have fun while contesting and still follow the rules. So if there's nothing else, Hank, it's all yours.
Everybody turn off their audio. Man, it's terrible.
I did have one announcement.
If you're not presenting, please mute. Yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
I just wanted to make the announcement about the Houston local traffic net that's on Monday evenings at 6:30 on the BVARC repeater. We move radiogram traffic back and forth, official traffic, but we're also instructional where anybody who wants to learn about it, to learn how to write radiograms, how to receive them, how to send them, they're invited to come and participate, because it's an instructional and it's a good experience. We encourage everybody to come and listen in.
And you said that's Monday evenings at 6:30?
Monday at 6:30 on 146.940.
Awesome. Well, thank you much. Any other announcements? All right, Hank, all yours.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, fellow hams. I'll just, before I even start, let me say that I encourage you all to give traffic handling a try. I started out traffic handling way back 65 years ago, and it helped make me a better operator. It's a lot of fun and well worth it. So bear with me here while I start to do some things here. Okay, so again, good evening, fellow hams. The first rule of contesting is to have fun, and we're going to have some fun tonight, particularly towards the end. I've presented this talk quite a few times, maybe 10 in total, at the Contest Academy, sponsored by the Northern California Contest Club at Visalia. And so let me start by saying it doesn't take a beam. I don't have a beam. My antenna is a wire antenna about 46 feet high. And today at 15:20 Zulu, which is a little after 8 in the morning, I got on teletype on 20 meters, sent test, W6SX, W6SX, W6SX. And I was spotted in all these places, Germany, and the United Kingdom, and all over the United States. So don't let the lack of a beam keep you from getting on the air, and don't keep the lack of a beam keep you from doing contesting. So here are some fun guidelines for contesting. I'll go through all of them. And when I've presented before, I've always talked about goals last, but this time I'm going to talk about goals first. So let's look at them. What are the goals, or why do you want to contest? Well, first rule is to have fun, and contesting is a lot of fun. You might want to beat last year's score. You might want to beat your buddy. And sometimes the way I do that is I don't tell my buddy I'm competing against him until afterwards and I've actually beaten him. You might be a part of a contest club or just a regular club and want to add to the club score. You might want to set a goal of a specific QSO or score mark, like 100 contacts or 500 or whatever seems right for you. Contesting is a great way to get worked all states or get new DXCC countries or counties. It's a great way to improve and learn about your station. Great way to improve your operating proficiency. Not listed here. It's also a great way to learn about propagation. Okay, so back to the guidelines. It's really important to read and understand the rules. Every contest has different rules, and they have different exchanges and so forth. So it's important to have the right rules and the right exchange. Here are some links where you can find contest calendar and contest rules. And don't worry about trying to copy down these links. Jeff has got them in, I think he's putting them on the chat, and they'll also be available on your club website. Next, I'll talk about running and search and pouncing. There are two different ways to do contesting. Run is, well, here. Run is when you call CQ and other stations come back to you. And search and pounce is when you turn around and you answer CQing stations. So here's an example from field day. Now the exchange in field day is your class and section. The class consists of a number and a letter. The number is how many transmitters you've got, and the letter is what you're doing. A designates a station out in the field run on emergency power. B is a station out in the field run on battery power. C is mobile. D is a home station run on commercial power, and E is a home station run on emergency power. And then your section, you guys are all in the South Texas section. So here's an example of how it would be if you were running. You would do something like CQ field day, W6PH, W6PH. Kurt is a real good buddy of mine, lives close to me here on the east side of California. And then I'd come back and I'd say W6SX. Kurt would come back and say, give my call, W6SX, give his class 1D, or he might say 1 Delta, orange. Then I'd come back and say 2 Alpha, SJV, San Joaquin Valley. He'd come back and say, thanks. That would be the end of that contact. And then hopefully for Kurt, someone else like W9IOP would give him a call. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Here we go. So that was the bare bones exchange, bare bones run protocol. You can add some things, and it's not right or wrong to add them. He might just say CQ field day, W6PH, W6PH, and then field day. That's up to him. Now I would come back and say W6SX. The one thing I would point out is you don't need to give W6PH his call. He knows his call. So just give him what he needs, which is your call. And so he'd come back, give me the exchange. And then when I go back to him, I could put his call in there, W6PH. And if I wanted to be real friendly, I could say thank you and then give him my exchange. And then finally, he could say W6SX, thanks, W6PH. The items in parentheses, you can put them in or you don't need to. It's not right to do it one way or the other. Either way is just fine. Okay, then search and pounce. Here's the exchange protocol for that. You tune around and you find some guy calling CQ, like CQ field day, W7RM, W7RM. My buddy Kurt calls him, just drops his call, W6PH. W7RM comes back to him, says W6PH, 2 Bravo, Western Washington. Kurt comes back and says 1 Delta, Orange. And W7RM says, thanks, W7RM. And then Kurt here is done. That contact is done. Kurt just tunes around, finds another CQer. So here's some, you can add some things if you want. You can add field day at the end here. You can add his call here. You can add field or his call again here. Again, neither right or wrong, they're both right. Okay, so nothing extra. And by nothing extra, I mean, follow the protocols that we talked about up here. You can say thanks, you can add his call and stuff when it's appropriate, but you don't want to say things like, name here is Bob, QTH is 16 miles west of Houston. Just stick to the contest exchange, get the contact over with, and he'll be happier, you'll be happier, you'll make more contacts, and it'll make for a more fun contest. Dupes or duplicates are okay. So you work the guy and he calls you later and wants to work you again, that's okay. The duplicates there's no penalty for duplicates when you send your log in. And sometimes if a guy calls you and tries to work you a second time, he's in your log, but for some reason or another, you're not in his log. Maybe you got the call wrong. Maybe he forgot to log you. So duplicates are fine. And the important thing is don't get in a back and forth about it. Don't argue about it and said, hey, we worked, and give them a time and all that. The quickest, most friendly, best thing to do is just work them again. And as I say, there's no penalty for working a guy twice or 3 times or 4 times. It's fine. It's all okay. Contest friendliness. I think I've got a slide on that. Okay, first of all, it's a contest. It's not a rag chew. And the most friendly thing you can do in a contest is quickly complete the contact per the protocol, which we talked about a bit earlier. As I said before, nothing extra, no good afternoon, old man. It's the temperature here is 4 degrees and it's starting to snow, or none of that. That's not contest stuff. And other people are waiting to work you and to work the other guy. Don't keep them waiting by adding extra stuff. Again, dupes are fine. No penalty for dupes. Just work the guy again and then keep going. Okay, so now we're going to do the fun part. We're going to do contesting live. This is a field day simulation. And just as a little review, the exchange is class and section. The like 1E, that would be a 1 transmitter station at home using emergency power. Someone in Orange County. There are many good ways to make a contest contact. Don't worry about goofs or that you got it exactly right. All contesters goof all the time. Just do it. So one thing I haven't talked about is phonetics. There are lots and lots of phonetics you can use. My preference is the standard set, which the international set, but other ones are just fine. The one thing I would warn against is don't get too cute and clever with your phonetics. They may sound really great to you, but the idea of phonetics is to get your call across, not to be cute and clever. Okay, so Jeff, take control, and this is an example. Play the YouTube. Do I have to unshare? Nope. Go.
There's no audio.
Oh, I was going to say that too. Thank you. Jeff, we're not hearing audio.
Maybe he has to unmute for us to hear the audio.
Maybe I have to mute. Let me do that.
No, I think he's in control. He needs to unmute, I think.
73, W3, Atlantic Ocean. Alpha Delta again. Alpha Delta 6, White Fox, 9 Alpha, Maryland. Of course, Frank can't control how the station's he contacts operate. Some are slow.
Jeff, start it over, please.
W3LPL, and listen for a minute to how a top contest operator handles field day. If you want to make 2,000 or more contacts on 20-meter phone at your field day station, this is a priceless education. Okay, 73, W3 Atlantic Ocean. W6 is in India Victor Queen, 9 Alpha, Maryland. Okay, thank you very much. 73, QRZ Field Day from W3 Atlantic Ocean. November 5 Kilo Alpha Echo, 9 Alpha, Maryland. November 5 Kilo Alpha Echo, go ahead. 73, W3 Atlantic Ocean. W4 AVP, 9 Alpha, Maryland. 73, W3 Atlantic Ocean. Alpha Delta again. Alpha Delta 6, White Fox, 9 Alpha, Maryland. Of course, Frank can't control how the station's he contacts operate. Some are slow, some are fast. Please repeat, but listen to how efficiently he responds to them all. No unnecessary call signs, no unnecessary words. Okay, I've got it. Thank you. QRZ Field A from W3 Atlantic Ocean. Kilo Juliet 0 Tango, 9 Alpha, Maryland. 73, W3 Atlantic Ocean. W4 Golf Lima, 9 Alpha, Maryland. Thank you, W3 Atlantic Ocean. November 1, Mike Echo, 9 Alpha, Maryland. MDC. Thank you, W3 Atlantic Ocean.
Okay,
Muted.
I think I'm back with you. That was just a wonderful example of how to operate a contest. Notice that Frank never got flustered. He just worked them. He took everything in its stride. No extra words. The other thing you might have noticed was that he was had a keyboard and a monitor there. He was using computer logging. I'll talk about that a little more as we go along. Okay, so we're going to do a contest here, everybody. And again, to review the protocol for field day, it would be something like, and this is what I'm going to do: CQ field day, W6SX, W6SX, and then Scott might come back.
Kilo Delta 5, Fox Bravo Alpha.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say KD5 FBA, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Bravo, South Texas, Sierra Tango X-ray.
Perfect. KD5 FBA, thanks, W6SX. And then I'll listen for one of you other guys to call.
N5 X-ray Zulu.
Oh, well, hold off. Boy, you're all getting ahead of me here. But that's good, Alan. Stand by 1. So, okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's do that. There are quite a few of you logged in. Now, the way to do this is use your space bar as a push to talk. So I'm going to call CQ, and then 1 or 2 or all of you can jump in, and maybe we'll get a big pile up, and we'll see how good I am at managing that. So here we go. CQ field day, W6SX, W6SX field day.
N5 X-ray Zulu.
YCU.
Okay, I got
YCU.
N5 X-ray Zulu, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Delta South Texas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
YCU.
I heard a YCU.
KG5 YCU. 1
KG.
Alpha.
Okay, good.
1
so
Alpha,
that,
South Texas.
okay, so that's great. So KG5 YCU, I've got you. And before we complete the contact, let me just throw in a couple words here. The important thing is, if you're searching and pouncing, don't send your exchange until the running station has sent his exchange. If you send your exchange as part of your initial call, then that gets everything out of order, and everybody's not sure when to say what. So KG5, I think it's Yankee Charlie uniform, is that right? 1 Delta SJV.
KG5 YCU. 1 Alpha STX.
Okay, thank you, sir. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray contest.
Whiskey 5 Tango Kilo Zulu.
W5 Tango Kilo Zulu, 1 Delta SJV.
Roger, 1 Delta, South Texas.
Thank you, sir. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray.
This is Kilo Delta 6 Quebec Zulu Hotel.
Quebec Zulu Hotel, KD6, 1 Delta SJV.
Yes, try.
Copy. Kilo Delta 6 Quebec Zulu Hotel. 1 Delta Sacramento Valley.
Okay, thank you. Good to get someone in California. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray.
And 5 GDF.
Kilo Whiskey.
I got a GDF again.
November 5 Golf Delta Mike.
Golf Delta Mike, good evening. N5 GDF, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Alpha Mississippi.
Thank you. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray contest.
November 5 Echo Kilo Whiskey.
Echo Sierra Whiskey, November 5, 1 Delta SJV.
November 5 Echo Kilo Whiskey. 1 Bravo.
Okay, so notice that when I came back this last time. I did it in a way that I sometimes do. I prefer not to, but because I'm typing his call into my keyboard, I'm using computer logging, and we'll talk about that before. I say the prefix first because that's the last thing that's stuck in my feeble mind. And then I say the prefix, and that's okay. Basically, anything that gets the contact done is good. That's the whole idea, is to get the contact and get it in the log. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray contest. CQ contest, Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray, Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray contest.
Kilo India 5, Mike Kilo uniform.
KI5 MKU, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Bravo STX.
Thank you, Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray contest.
W5
Whiskey 5?
Whiskey 5 Juliet Echo Foxtrot.
Juliet Echo Foxtrot. Hi, Jeff. W5JEF, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Delta STX.
Thank you. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray. The other station?
Kilo Charlie 5 Juliet.
KJ5 or KC5J, 1 Delta SJV.
1 Alpha South Texas.
Thank you. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray.
KI5 Victor Charlie Mike.
Okay, we had a double. Victor Charlie Mike.
Yeah, Roger. November 5 Victor Charlie Mike, 1 Delta South Texas.
Okay, don't send the exchange until I've sent mine. N5 VCM, 1 Delta SJV. What was your exchange again?
Again, 1 Delta Texas.
Okay, and south, north, or what? South Texas?
South Texas, South Texas.
Okay, I got it. Thanks. The other station?
KI5 IOC.
KI5 IOC, Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray. Let's see, I'm getting a little, and this sometimes happens, I get a little confused. KI5 IOC, 1 Delta SJV.
KI5 IOC 1A South Texas.
Thank you, sir. Whiskey 6 Sierra X-ray. Okay, so anyone else want to call? So just for fun, why don't we have Jeff call CQ and you guys can answer them a little.
CQ Field Day, Whiskey 5 Juliet Echo Foxtrot, standing by.
November 5 Papa Romeo Delta.
N5 Papa Romeo Delta. Please copy 1 Delta South Texas.
1 Alpha South Texas.
Got it, thanks. W5JEF.
Whiskey
N5
7
X-ray
Queen
Zulu.
Mary.
W5 X-ray Zulu.
Norway 5 X-ray Zulu.
N5XZ. Copy 1 Delta South Texas.
1 Delta South Texas, thank you.
W5JEF.
Whiskey 5 Tango Kilo Zulu.
W5 TKZ. Copy 1 Delta South Texas.
USL 1 Delta South Texas.
Gotcha. W5JEF.
Whiskey 7 Queen Mary.
Whiskey 7 Queen Mary. Please copy 1 Delta South Texas.
3 Alpha San Joaquin Valley.
Got it. Good luck. W5JEF.
November 5 Echo Kilo Whiskey.
November 5 Echo Kilo Whiskey. Please copy 1 Delta South Texas.
Please copy 1 Echo South Texas.
You're in. W5JEF.
November 5 Golf Delta Mike.
N5 GDM. Please copy 1 Delta South Texas.
1 Alpha Mike Sugar.
Got it. W5JEF.
Okay, that was super. So you guys got it down pat, and I really encourage you to get on and check the contest calendar, get on and do it for real. Now I've lost my place here, so give me a little, let's see. Ooh. Okay, so here's something to keep in mind when if you're getting on for your first 2 or 3 contests, you don't need to log. You can just get on and have fun and work guys, and don't worry about logging it. It's not necessary to get on and wet your feet a little bit. You don't need to log, but you know, back in the old days, 65 years ago when I started contesting, you logged with a paper log and a pencil, and you had a big sheet in front of you, which is called a dupe sheet, where you wrote you put down all the stations you worked, and you tried not to dupe them again. But these days, especially all you guys who are on Zoom here, you all got a computer, and computer logging makes contests a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun. And I encourage you to give it a try. Computer logging keeps tracks of dupes for you. It doesn't stop someone from calling you a second or third time, because he may not be using computer logging. He may have entered your call wrong. Again, if someone calls you and he's a dupe, just work them again. Keeps track of multipliers. I haven't mentioned it, but in most contests, your score is you multiply your number of multipliers times the number of contacts. So computer logging keeps track of multipliers, keeps track of score. Computer logging can send code and voice files. So I don't use voice files when I do sideband contesting, but when I do computer or CW contesting, I just press a function key and it sends CQ. Press another function key and it sends the exchange. Makes it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun. Computer logging creates a contest log for you. It's ready to submit to both the log of the world and also to the contest sponsor. I might point out or back up just a little to our simulation. I was working you guys at 1 or 2 a minute. So you put that in, you do that for a whole hour and you've worked 100 guys. And Jeff was doing the same thing. So you can work a lot of guys in a short amount of time in a contest. Here are some cute computer loggers. Don't worry about capturing them. You can just Google any of those. N1MM is my favorite. It's for Windows. It's free. It's very, very capable. But the nice thing about N1MM is you can just install it and get going with it. And as you use it, learn and start using all of the expanded capabilities. Skookum Logger is a Mac program written by a very good friend of mine. In fact, we've been friends for 60 years or more. So if you've got a Mac, Skookum Logger is the way to go. If you're using a Windows machine, WinTest, TR4, and SD are all good. You can just put any of these in the search bar of your browser, and it'll lead you to a place where you can download. Okay, so here are a whole bunch of resources for contesting. One of them is the CQ contest list or reflector. It's an excellent place to go to ask questions and to get a lot of advice. Another is 3830 scores. There's a little history to this. Back in the days before we had computers, after a contest, lots of people would get on 3830 sideband and report their score and find out what other people do. We don't do that anymore, but there's a website. You just go to 3830 and you can report your score. I encourage you to do that. It's kind of fun to see how you did compared to others. This is a super book by a good friend of mine, The Joy of Contest, not a book actually, The Joy of Contesting by K6RB. It was in the January issue of QST 2008. If you're a member of ARRL, the ARRL contest update is an email that comes out every couple weeks, has a lot of good contesting information in it. ARRL has some contesting guidelines. Haven't really mentioned teletype, but teletype is a great way to start contesting. You've got the decoder there. It decodes things for you. And there are a couple good resources here by AA5AU on teletype contesting. Oh, I guess I've got contesting update on here twice. That's okay. Oh, I'm going backwards. Contest clubs are really great. There's a list of contest clubs here. I encourage you to join a contest club in your local area. So the Texas DX Society is both a contest club and a DX club. They're a great bunch of guys. They've been around forever. So I encourage you to give them a try.
Hey, Hank.
Yeah.
I also would like to recommend the WA7BNM contest calendar if you want to know what contests are going on. And it's at contestcalendar.com.
Yeah, in fact, I hope and think I listed that. Oh, I listed that somewhere, but you're absolutely right. I think that was one of my early slides. There are two good contest calendars, the one by Bruce Horn, WA7BNM, and then the ARRL contest listing. Actually, Bruce maintains the listing, and ARRL one is just the same thing as Bruce does. But yes, go there, pick out a contest. And while we're talking about that, good way to start in a very relaxed way, our state QSO parties, the North American QSO parties, sideband, CW, and teletype are good. So yes, that's a great resource. So we're getting towards the end. The first rule of contesting is to have fun. And while I'm thinking about it, the examples we've done here were sideband, but CW contesting is great, as is teletype contesting. And my biggest piece of advice is just jump in and try it. Maybe you'll like it. So that's the first rule, have fun. Second, the first corollary is share the fun. And then the second corollary is we all get better together. You know, contesting is a competition, but one of the things about contesting is it's not as if you're out running a running race and trying to get the best time. That's what running's all about. But in contesting, you can't get the best score without working other guys. So it's kind of fun. Okay, questions. I'm open to any sorts of questions. And if I don't answer them tonight, or if you think of something later, you can email me.
Hank, I'd like to make another comment.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to say I'm a big contester myself. But to those who want to improve their skills, especially CW skills, there's really no better way to improve your CW skills than get into contesting. It really forces you to copy faster and faster as you go. And it also improves other skills, including your station concentration and other things. So if you're interested in CW and want to improve your CW skills, contesting is a great way to do it.
Absolutely. A little bit of history. I got licensed back in 1956. I was 11 years old. And I got my novice license, and I struggled with the code. I mean, I really struggled. And I finally got it together enough, got up to 13, got my general. My father bought me a Viking Ranger, and I started getting into contests. And just like Alan said, there's nothing like contesting and, oh, by the way, traffic handling to increase your CW skills. And within 3 months, I was working at 45 words a minute. I can't send that fast anymore, but I can still copy it. So CW contesting is a super way to increase your CW skills. Okay, other questions? Open mic.
Hank, I'm wondering if some of these logging software, if they have utility where you can see on a map where you're talking to. Have you seen anything like that?
Some of them do, although, let's see, I don't think N6MM does. I know that Skookum Logger does. I haven't used the other ones recently, so I'm not sure of them. But some of them will give you a map showing you what sections you worked or what countries you worked, if the multipliers are countries, and will darken those sections or multipliers as you work them. Now, what I do, well, one thing we haven't talked about here is there are different classes to enter contests. And one distinction is entering assisted or unassisted. And I often enter assisted. And when you enter assisted, you can log into a packet cluster, and that will then show you a list of stations that are that the packet cluster has picked up. And actually, let me just get out of this for a minute, and I can show you that. Oh, okay. So you stand by one, and let me bring up N1MM. And right now I'm set up for a teletype contest. I'm going to change that and set up and bring up, not that one. I'm going to bring up a contest I worked last night, which was a CW ops test right here. And so as I do that, you'll see the teletype is, oh, you won't see, but now let me share the screen again. And I'm going to share. Okay. So are you guys seeing this window, and are you seeing this available queues window?
Yep.
Okay, so let me turn my rig on. And now my rig is now, okay, that's another thing I didn't mention about contest logging. My rig is now interfaced with the logger, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to put myself down on 40 meters, 7040. My rig just went to 40 meters. And you can see that there are some stations here. I'm going to tell it show DX over here. Here's some stations that have been spotted. But what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to tell let me see if I can get this away. Okay, so I'm going to quickly send a test. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm sending test, test, test. And notice over here and here, it's going to show where I'm being spotted. Let me try that again, another one.
I think we're just seeing the input window. I don't think we're seeing a map. Is there a map or something?
There is no map.
Okay.
So, but this tells me where I'm being spotted. And also it shows the station. So I could click on this station like that. It moves my transceiver to that frequency and I could call him. Or over here, it shows multipliers, new stations and multipliers. And like I could click here on KI0F, it changes my transceiver to 80 meters and tunes me to his frequency. And I could just click W6SX and it would send my call and hopefully he could come back to me. So now to answer your other question, let me go here.
I don't think we're seeing it here. We're seeing the K3 VFOA window, but that's the only window we're seeing.
Oh, you didn't see the multiplier window?
Yeah, that was what I was wondering about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it was there. And I won't take any more time showing you that because what I'm going to do is bear with me for a minute. And let me go to here. And you're not seeing this yet, but you will in a minute.
You might want to share screen and not just share a window.
Yeah, standby one. Okay, so let me do Alt Tab. Whoops, Alt Tab. I lost that. Alt Tab. Oh, okay. So I want to share Foxfire. Okay, can you see Foxfire now, guys?
Negative.
No?
Yeah, we're still just seeing the window.
You may have to stop share and reshare to do that.
Oh, I'll just say new share. Let's try that. Okay, are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Okay, so here's Foxfire. I'm going to go and what I do is I have this on another monitor, but I'll show you it on this one. So I go to clusters, reverse beacon network. And this shows you where I've just recently been spotted. Like 3 minutes ago, I was spotted on 40 meters, which are the orange ones here. And then I was spotted also on 20 meters earlier in the day. So now let me just, I'm on 80 meters and I'm just going to send test again. And let's see if I show up. Now, this is not going to show the stations I've worked. This is showing where I'm being heard. And you'll see in just a minute, this guy will refresh here. And now you can see all these green ones are where I've just been spotted on 80 meters. So, okay, so let's go back to questions.
Okay, who is reporting that they've heard you if they're not working you?
Okay, well, you can see down here, or let's just look here like this is WZ7I, who is somewhere in New York. This guy is W4AX. These are skimmers. They're not stations with a ham who's actually listening. These are automated systems that monitor all across the bands and then report to the packet cluster. So these are not actually people, these are robots.
That's
Other
pretty cool.
questions?
Yeah, not to hog it, but that's pretty cool. But is there a list where we can find that? That'd be really cool even to get the report when we're not contesting.
Yes, and here is where you want to go. You might want to write this down. Beta, B-E-T-A dot reverse beacon .net / MAIN .php.
I have a comment about the N1MM.
Yes.
For those of you who are interested on, if you made a contact during a contest, you're interested in where that individual was, there's a button in the lower right-hand corner of your login screen in N1MM that'll take you to qrz.com, and it'll pop up a window and it'll show you the station you just worked.
Yes, absolutely. Other comments or questions?
Question on dupes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in all the contests I've been in, I always keep the dupes in my log. Most of the logging programs, though, will offer you the option of removing them before you send in your log. And this raised the question in my mind, if you have a dupe and another station has a dupe and you remove your dupe, one of your dupes, and they remove one of your dupes, you might land up with neither of you having a contact at the time listed.
Yes, exactly. And so the received wisdom is do not remove dupes. Leave the dupes in your log. And one of the reasons is what you just stated. Another reason, and this is probably more prevalent, what will happen is sometimes a guy will miss keystroke and get your call wrong and log the contact with a call that's not quite like your call. So when he works you again, it won't show as a dupe for him. It'll show as a dupe for you because you logged the dupe correctly, but it won't be a dupe for him. Now, the log checking software takes account of all of that, and neither of you will be penalized. You will, so leave all the contacts in your log, don't remove the dupes, and the log checking software will take care of that, and neither of you will be penalized.
Good, thank you. I had a good bit of confusion on what happened at the contest end of it as to what would be the decision regarding those. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of this goes back to way back years ago when we used paper logs. And when we used paper logs, the rule was dupes were not allowed. That's why we kept this big dupe sheet where we penciled in each contact in addition to penciling in the log. We kept this big dupe sheet, and we had to remove dupes after the contest. If we sent them in, we would get penalized. But with computer logging, that's all changed, and leave the dupes in the log.
Good, thank you.
Other questions, comments, suggestions?
Yeah, I have a question about CW contesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hank, thanks. You gave a good recommendations about on a phone contest about the exchange and so forth. But what about on CW? Now that's a little bit different. I mean, do you ever send break? If I would send W5RH 1A South Texas, do I send that or just no?
No, let me bring up my slides again and say new share. Okay, can you see that first rule contesting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so on CW, what you see here is exactly what you want to send. This is the normal protocol. It would just be dotted, and so forth. You don't send break, you don't send K, you don't send AR, just send exactly what is there. And again, you can add a field day at the end, you can add a TU, you can add the other guy's call, but you for instance, you don't put a D in here. We used to do that, but not anymore. No K at the end, no break.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Comment.
Yes.
Yeah, in some cases, a lot of the faster contesters don't even send the CQ. They'll just send test or FD their call, and that's it. And other people understand it's during a contest period. That'll save a little bit of time. And so, yeah, as little as possible, as quickly as possible, and with as little fluff as possible. That is the rule, or the best rule. Over.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, I normally send CQ. A thing to keep in mind is, for instance, if you're sending just FD, did it, dotted it, and then your call, you won't get spotted by these robots. The robots are looking for either CQ or test. So
that's correct. You're right.
I just, as a matter of habit, send CQ, but as you just said, in say a DX contest, people will often send CQ test, but a lot of people just send test. TEST, W6PH, W6PH, and then that's it. More questions, comments, suggestions?
Yeah, what if you don't get, okay, so you send a CQ and somebody comes back to you and you don't get it. You've got a partial call. What is the best response?
Okay, so a couple answers for that. You heard me during the simulation where I would give a partial call.
Yep.
When I operate phone, I'm a little bit more free flow than I am on or on CW or RIDI. So on phone, I will, if I get a partial call, I will come back with the partial call, and it's kind of a on the fly judgment. I may come back and I may say that the station ending in alpha, and then hopefully just one station will end in alpha and he'll come back and I can make the contact. Sometimes I'll get a whole bunch of the call, like Golf Delta Mike. And if that's the case, and I think I can speed it up, I can say station ending in Golf Delta Mike 1 Delta SJV. Golf Delta Mike, go ahead. And at that point, I'm hoping he'll give me his whole call and he'll give me the exchange and we can complete the contact. That's kind of a judgment call, whether I do it that way or whether I just say Golf Delta Mike, what's the whole call? And that's something you kind of learn and gain experience with. Now on teletype, if someone calls me on teletype, what normally happens on teletype is 2 or 3 stations will call. They're all on the same frequency and you don't print any of them. And the temptation is to send again, AGN, but that is counterproductive. The best thing is to just wait and let one of those guys, hopefully one, drop his call again. If you send again, all 3 of them will send their call and they'll all be on top of each other again and you won't get squat. So the best thing is to just wait and let one of them call again. Now on CW, it's kind of a judgment call. On CW, if you can pull out 1 or 2 letters, I'll hand send those 1 or 2 letters and hopefully just that guy will return. But again, on CW, often the best thing to do is to just wait and hopefully one guy will just drop his call again and you can have the contact. And that's, again, it's a judgment call, relies on experience, but all things being equal, in my experience, if you didn't copy a call, the best thing is to say nothing and let them try again, and hopefully only one will do it.
Right. So don't send on CW, don't send the 2 letters you got with a question mark.
Well, if you got 2 letters, that kind of narrows the field down. So I'm comfortable with sending the 2 letters. I wouldn't send the question mark because that may encourage other people.
Okay.
If I only get 1 letter, I won't send anything. If I get 2 letters, I may. If I get 3 letters, I certainly will send those 3 letters.
Gotcha. Okay.
Comment.
Good.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do a lot of RIDI contesting, and the only time you'll ever see AGN being used is during the exchange itself. Sometimes the characters won't come through, so the receiving station will send an AGN out to clarify who he's talking to.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and you bring up another point which I didn't mention here. For instance, for field day, the exchange is 1 Delta ORG. But if someone needs a repeat, if he sends question mark or again, I'll send 1 Delta ORG. But say he just asks for, what's your section? Then just give him orange. Don't give him the whole exchange again. Just give him orange. Now, in many contests, the exchange is RST plus a number, or maybe RST plus your section. So the exchange would be 599 SJV. If he says again, don't send 599 again. Just send the SJV. Never repeat 599. And if he sends number, just give him the number. Don't give him the 599 and the number, or don't give him number 3 SJV. If he asks for number, just give him number and give it to him twice maybe.
Comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I usually do is I set up my macro file in N1MM .mc file, and I set up those extra repeats on various function keys, and I try to keep it consistent for every contest. So I'm always hitting the same function key if they're asking for a fill, which is what we're talking about. If they just need the section, or they just need an exchange, or they just need a certain thing, then you can set that up easily in a macro file in N1MM and probably the other contest programs as well. And then it's just a simple matter of hitting the specific function key, and it just makes it a lot easier for you.
Makes it a lot easier for you and a lot easier for him. You've probably experienced, and it seems to happen all the time, if you ask him, say, for number, and he doesn't have the key set up like you did, and he hits the key to send the exchange. So he sends the 599 a number. Every single time it seems to happen that the 599 comes through loud and clear and the number fades. And so you have to ask them again. So bingo, what you said is absolutely spot on. Set up your macro keys so that you just send what he asks for.
Yeah, another thing you can do in N1MM is a little trick I learned is whatever you sent last time, if you hit the plus or the equal key, it'll resend whatever you sent the last time. So if you sent the full exchange, you hit that, it'll send the full exchange again. If you just sent partial exchange and they still need a fill, you just hit the plus key or equal and it'll send just that again. That way you don't have to reach for a specific macro key. Just hit that key. It's just a repeat of the last transmission.
Yes, that's a good feature of N1MM. Okay, any other questions?
Comment. Any chance we can get rid of the RST signal report in these contests?
Oh, you're a man after my own heart.
Geez, why bother?
Well, okay, so there are various schools of thought on that. My school of thought is I don't like it. Just send me the important part, because everybody sends 5NN and it's not useful information. There are other people, there are other very competent contesters who say the 5NN is kind of a sync character. You hear 5NN and you know the next thing you got to copy. Another thing that happens sometime is there's always a debate in a contest where the exchange is, say, number and your state. Some people send NR. So they would send NR 43 California. And people like me say, I don't need those training wheels. I don't need the sync character. Don't send NR. But other very, very competent contesters say, send the NR because it tells the guy that it's coming. So you raised a very good question. And a more direct answer is, as much as I'd like to get rid of 599, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, you got to follow the rules, but luckily some contests don't require it.
Right.
Hey, following up on something that Alan just said, he was talking about these F functions. I guess I may have missed the context, but here now contests are in CW and their voice and Ridian, whatever, what have you. You know, what was the context for using those F functions there?
Okay, stand by one. I'll show you a quick example. And if people have to run and got other things to do, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you leave. I can stay here as long as people want. Let me do a new share now, which will be, well, just let's do the whole screen, and that way, and then I can get rid of some things like this one. Okay, so let me get rid of I'll close that window. Okay, so here is, I'm back to a teletype contest. So what we were talking about are these macro keys here. So, and notice that M1MM makes a distinction between running and search and pounce. So when I'm running, I can click this and it'll send CQ. I can click this and it'll send my exchange. And let me just put my transmitter in test mode so I don't actually send. So if I send my exchange, there's the exchange, which in this case is 599 and my number 01212. Now, normally for CW and phone contests, I don't say 012 or send 012. But for teletype contests, a lot of people will just click on your number. And so it's easier to click on a 3-digit number than on a 2-digit number. So it sent my exchange. I can also send my thank you like that. I can send my call twice. Normally on CW or phone, I just send my call once. But on teletype, I send it twice. What else do I have here? I can send, if I put a call here, like W1AW, now I can send his call. I can ask for his number. And if someone's asking for my number, instead, I could just send my whole exchange again like that. But instead, if someone asks for my number, I'll just do that. And notice there's a lot more information in sending my number 3 times rather than repeating my exchange and sending 599, which is useless, and then my number a couple times. So these are the macro buttons, and everybody will set them up a little bit differently to suit yourself.
Hank, why don't you show them what the macro file looks like?
Oh, okay. And again, if anybody's got to go do something else, I'm not going to be embarrassed if you leave. Okay, so I can edit my macro file here. This is what my macro file looks like. I'll show you another real quick hint real quick. Let me X out of that. And I can come in here and I can make changes to this and then save it. I won't do that right now, but I'll show you a trick. So let me wipe that station and open up my CW Ops contest from last night. And notice that the macro files have changed a little bit. But let me show you one thing which is really neat. Down here under my S&P macros, I have this one, F9, which says XIT. So this allows me to send my call with my frequency offset by 85 hertz. So what happens a lot of times is someone's calling CQ and a whole bunch of people will call him and they're all 0 beat with him. So I press the F9 button and it sends my call offset by 85 hertz. This, by the way, is a CAT command to my transceiver. So it sends my call offset by 85 hertz and it separates me from all the other guys who are calling them. And it's just wonderful how it works. 9 times out of 10, I'm the one who gets through. Let me close that out. Okay, other questions?
That's a great feature, Hank. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, one last one from me. Is there anything that kind of spell checker that will allow you that you can link to call sign to? I mean, if it doesn't, that will assure you that you got the call sign right.
Yes, there are a couple different things. There's a guy in Colorado who produces something called single check partial, and single check partial is a list. Well, no, that's not quite right. There are, okay, let's go here and say file, open. And then there are associate files, and there are things called call history files. And, okay. I didn't realize. Okay, so you can change those, and I have a whole list of call history files. So for instance, here is something called states text, which just stand by for a second. Let me cancel that. Let me cancel this. And these are some of the features that I talked about. These contest loggers are very sophisticated. But let me just go here and say open up and CW ops, and so associated files. So notice here that here's a call history file of people who are active in the CW ops tests. So I'm going to say okay. And so now notice that, let me type a call in, like a good friend of mine, W2GD. Notice that I typed his call in, and over here in the check window, it's telling me W2GD is in the CW ops file. And it's also telling me he's in something called single check partial, which I won't get into right now. But for instance, if I only type W2GD, now over here, this gives me a whole bunch of calls that are active in the CW ops, and it gives me over here a whole bunch of other calls who are active in contests in general. So there's a feature called Yank, which I can just, I'm going to hit it. You won't see it. I've got it programmed. So I just hit Yank, and it puts this whole call in there. Now, the interesting part about this is the call history file. If I hit tab or space, puts his name and his CW ops number in there. So all I have to do now is work them. I don't even have to type his information in. And that feature is available for all of the different contests.
By the way, N1MM, you could download the latest call history files when you go to n1mm.com. It's one of the categories of downloads. So for every contest, just before the contest, you can download the latest call history file, and that'll help you out.
Yep.
Thank you, Hank.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You've been a great bunch of hams, and my final advice is just get on, give it a go, and I look forward to working you. And if anyone's got any other questions, just email me.
Awesome. Thank you, Hank.
Very good. Yeah, thank you, Hank. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Hank. It's been very.
Okay, I'll just finish by saying contest exuberantly.
By the way, Hank, I've worked you 66 times in contests in the past.
Well, let's make it, especially this weekend with WPX ready, let's make it at least 4 bands. So let's add to that.
I'll be looking for you.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
73.
See you.
Well, thank you very much, Hank. Mike sends along his apologies that he's not able to be here to close the meeting. But Sherry, if you're still on, do you want to plug the traffic net one more time for those that may have missed it? Looks like we lost her already. I'm not seeing Sherry. All right.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. You are there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't asleep, although I did do that at one time, fell asleep at one Zoom meeting. Houston local traffic net on Monday nights at 6:30 on 14. I'm sorry?
My fault. I should have muted.
Okay, what's up? Houston local traffic net on 146.940, the BVARC repeater at 6:30 on Monday nights. And everybody is welcome to check in and listen and learn and become involved. And it's Yeah, it's a great place to learn how to practice those contesting skills like our speaker just mentioned, but you know, it's also a great place to learn and meet new people. My Verizon of people I know has really expanded in the last 2 months since I've been doing this. And I've actually come across some people that I knew when I was in high school. So it's pretty bizarre. It's very rewarding, and no question is a dumb question, and everybody has to start at the beginning at some time. So don't worry about it. We welcome you all. Please check in. Back to you.
Thanks, Jerry.
I would like to welcome Scott Hernandez from Louisiana, as well as Peter. Our out-of-state Zoom visitors are more than
Hi, this is Peter, KD6Qs at Age. Great meeting tonight. I just wanted to introduce myself. I was a member of BVARC, 25, 27 years ago when I lived in Texas. Maybe a little longer, and great to be back.
Very good. Well, all, thanks for coming. I'm going to stop the recording and.
Yes. Who was there?